Internet, and welcome back to Contact, a space engineer's journey home at the moment. So I'm currently sat here in this lovely table that I found in the smoking wreck that I found, attached to the smoking wreck of my ship that I also found. So, our situation is unchanged. We are still floating in the void, many kilometers from home. We're fewer kilometers from home than before. My original idea was essentially to find, not really find a way to get home. I just stopped breathing for a minute. Get back, have a GPS of here, which I have already. Yeah. So go back to base, come back, get ship. I was just gonna do that at sublight. I looked it up, and to travel that distance at maximum speed would take 80 minutes, pretty much, or, just under an hour and a half. Like an hour and 20 minutes. That's a long time to just coast. So, I've had a slightly different idea. It's still going to involve going back to base. And to do that, I need to set up this ship so that I can get back to it if I need to. And I can do that conveniently with one little timer block, assuming I have the parts for one little timer block. Which I do. Alright. Timer block. Put everything back in there so we can reclaim it. Let's see if I can rotate the solar panels. No, because I think I turned this into a station. No, I didn't. I just turned the gyro off because I have no power. So those will get some charge. I am, just for safety's sake, going to engage the interdimensional handbrake. Turn off the gyro. I want this thing to, survive. With the timer block, it'll have a 10-second delay. What it will do is turn on the survival kit. I have done this before in other adventures, but the gist of this idea, I turn off the survival kit here. If I start the timer block counting, I have 10 seconds to reclone, and I won't reclone here. After those 10 seconds, if I reclone again, I could reclone here. So let's start. And there we go. I also have a GPS. My hope is that I won't need to come back. You could just see... Oh. I think I was too slow. That thing kicked on right as my vision faded out. Okay. Let's set it for 20 seconds. Off. Timer block start. Backspace. There we go. So, yeah. Things should turn back on the Baby B if need be. My hope is that I don't need them because, well, I'm gonna go and get it. Now my plan for here, my other sort of best suited ship, is probably the miner, just because it's already large grid. If I slap a jump drive onto the miner, get it charged up off of the base, I should be able to jump to the Baby B and then hopefully have enough juice to jump back. Because this thing has 2 full batteries and is full of hydrogen. So the big question is, do I have the stuff to build a jump drive? Well, I'm gonna have to build it really slow with the basic tools. What is the state of... I don't even remember how I left this place. Let's get in and look at our production. So I think I turned off a bunch of stuff to sort of leave it on low power mode. Or maybe I didn't. I think it's just very slow at processing ores. Yeah, so it started doing magnesium, which I probably left it on. Probably good on that. Gonna have it switch to uranium just to keep the reactors going. Though our reactors... one of them looks good. I'm gonna assume the other one's good. Yeah, power seems to be pretty solid all in all. I may end up having to go out and get like a little bit of gold or something, but hopefully we have close to enough. Also, I don't know where the red came from. What did I make red? Alright. We're producing crap. So I need 700 gold. And I need about 1,000 cobalt. I have a ton of gold ore. Where is gold? Yeah, I should have enough. It'll just take some time. Now, the real mark of if this is work is going to be if I can get there before I've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes. Because it's possible that between the building time and the charging time for this thing, hopefully not, but, you know, I was also hopeful that I had enough power to jump here the first time. I did just see... So, I'm now waiting on the superconductors, which are very slow. What I can do... I conveniently have a conveyor port. So if I stick this guy on here... I can now turn this welder on and essentially have trickle welding as superconductors get finished. So we can just leave that be. Now while I'm here, I may go ahead and do a little bit of modification to the base. Partially because I kind of want more hydrogen on board if I'm going to be using that for more ship fuel. Which means I need to try to depressurize the interior chamber so I can open it. My guess is that will not empty the space, because I bet you all the O2 containers are full. Yeah. Alright, well, here we go. Goodbye, air. I just realized if I do what I'm thinking of doing here, it will cut cut this bottom bit off of the base, which is not good. Alright, one janky appendage later. I didn't realize how far away any connection points were. But we should now be able to cut all this off without too much permanent damage. I didn't really take into account how much the tank was going to take in production. Should be doable though. If I can still get anywhere. Alright. Second fuel ball. Oh. Okay, that thing is now built. Yeah. That all worked out. Right. Fully recharged in 7 minutes. Should be recharging off the base, so the batteries on the miner will stay good. Let's go ahead and finish out this. Which may end up... The slopes are going to get a little weird because of this section, but I think it's how it's going to have to be. Yeah. Well, perfect timing. So I just finished up what is now a weird cone. Which sort of works, you know. Fits the vibe of the base. And jump drive done. I mean, we might as well. So, tanks are full, jump drive is charged, battery should be full. Oh, this thing does only have one battery on it. Crud. Forgot about that. Just because I've been burned before, I'm putting another battery on board. Where can... Actually... Don't know... Screw it. Parts are cheap. This is going to be a sacrificial battery. The only thing you don't get back is the power cells anyway, and power cells are... It's like some nickel, I think. Yeah, nickel, silicon, iron. I don't have to worry about that. Alright, we'll let this battery charge up. What other... Let's see. I have another change I kind of want to make. It's partially... Well, partially because I know what I'm planning, and I think it'll be kind of cool. So... Get rid of this stuff for the moment. I mean, that's a something. I don't know if it's really worth the hassle, and in reality, it's probably not a great idea to build, you know, a gantry around your... where you could build a big ship, because what if you don't build the gantry big enough? But it's there. It looks neat, and, yeah, I can put lights on it. Hopefully it'll look a little less like a big C when I've got the rest of it built. But, in other news, battery is full, jump drive is full. Let's go get the ship. Alright. Jump drive. Max distance isn't an issue. We want to jump to there. And let's monitor. So, Currently, the jump drive has 3 megawatt hours of stored power. I'm going to tell it not to recharge because hopefully that means it won't start taking power immediately, so I can check this number. So yeah, current jump is 0.41% of our drive, so we shouldn't use the full stored power in theory, if my theory of how jump drives work holds. I need the button. Alright. We're coming for you, baby bee. That way is where we're going. Don't have to use the jump drive pointing forward. They can go any way they wish. Alright. So. Okay, yeah. So, stored power, it did not go down completely. So, if I turn it on to recharge... yeah, it's not taking as much time, presumably. I don't actually... I feel like that might be about the same... I don't know, maybe I don't know how long these things take to charge. Let's turn our other battery on. So yeah, I don't fully know what happened with, I feel like some jump drive weirdness happened. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention to how much power I had versus how much I was using. I feel like that one micro jump I did last episode that seemed to completely drain me of power. I don't know, I should have been able to recover from that one. But, I mean, we're here. Everything seems to have worked. I don't really remember what was going on many hours ago, so I'm gonna call everything good. Now if we dock up, I should be able to, well, really, the baby bee is not doing much. In fact, let's go on and make sure its jump drive isn't going to do anything. Alright. And thanks to auto docking, everything turns off. But that's actually a good thing because it means I keep fuel on board. And it doesn't particularly matter because that secondary battery is going to get the jump drive going in 30 seconds. Alright. Baby bee, we're going home. Going, oh right. Gotta turn off the handbrake, then we're going home. Where? There it is. It's just dark and hard to see because the camera's weird. Alright. Now let's toggle this jump drive off because we don't need it doing its thing. Let's get... oh, no. Okay. So that's the Beluga tank. If I turn these off stockpile, maybe I just turn one off stockpile and drain it. Yeah, that should be good. That'll be enough to at least go and get docked. Alright. We can then disconnect. Head back to base. Take off this jump drive barnacle. It is sort of set up that I could just pop it off and then place it into a new ship. But I don't think that's... it might be worth it. May not, I don't know. I mean, they take a long time to build, but it's mainly the parts. If I'm welding it, it's not a particular concern. Oh, I should check too. So, my time for this is 1 hour and 7 minutes. So we saved a whopping 15 minutes by not just coasting. But we did also get some work on the base done, so that's probably worth something. I mean, we have a second jump drive that we wouldn't have had otherwise. Got a gantry, we've got a second tank on the base. And if nothing else, coasting for an hour and a half would have been incredibly boring and I wouldn't have enjoyed it. So really, it all worked out. And I just realized a goof I just made. The baby Beluga doesn't have its antenna on. I made it 2 kilometers from base and lost the ship. It's okay. I vaguely remember the approach vector I was on. So if I just look for it real hard. Could that be it? I feel like that's a distant asteroid. That's silicon. Okay, I've got an idea. Okay, sports welder. You're now search and rescue welder. So because this is a cockpit, I should get the grid highlight if I'm close to a grid. I feel like it was off more this way. I've of course done this all at the one time when I won't get as much help from the sun. Could that be... hold on. I can't tell if that's an asteroid with red or if that's a weirdly shaped ship that's on fire. Ha! There it is. Okay. I think I'm gonna just put... hopefully I can scrounge enough crap. Just stick a little mag plate on this so I can barnacle it to the side. It's one big issue about the whole, auto docking and having stuff happen when you auto dock to connectors. It means that you can't, dock ships to connectors and use the other ship. I could just turn it off on the baby Beluga. I don't know. It's a weirdly sized ship where it makes sense to have because it's not necessarily going to be moving other things while it's operating. So its connectors wouldn't need to be separate. It makes sense that I connect stuff and the ship does the docking maneuvering. But in practice, I've needed to use those connectors and not really had a convenient way to. But that is fine. We've got the bits. There we go. Okay, baby Beluga. At long last, we're gonna get you home. There's home. Whoops. Okay, I may have come in a little hot there. I don't even think we scraped the paint though, so we're good. Okay, that was a scrape. And that. I forgot the docking arms. Alright. At long last, we're docked. Oh boy. Okay. Beluga is back. Still on fire. Has an awkward list to it. Right. Well, guess I'll go ahead and get some of this stuff finished, get some of these barnacles removed, maybe get the baby bee fixed up. Then, now I know what I'm up against. I know what the Factorum can do. Mainly I know that they have guns, which, you know, I probably could have guessed, but now I have confirmation. So, I need a gunship. Well, nah, that's sort of a gunship. I need a battleship. I need something big. I need something with lots of guns, lots of armor, lots of little tricks up its sleeve. So I'm going to get working on that. Alright, that took a minute, but I got all of this welded up. Let's see it from a real distance. It's alright. It does sort of... It dwarfs the main base just a bit. Doesn't look, you know, perfectly natural. But it's on there now, and I've spent a lot of time welding it, so I'm not going to remove it. I've got a bunch of spotlights that should be set up so that anything I'm building in there is sort of perpetually lit, which is really the only value of this thing, aside from aesthetics. I also piped in a second little connector for the sports welder, because I figured this is where the sports welder is going to be used more than likely, is building big ships. So it has its own little home here. Also got the little piston thing set up so that I can extend it out. It is extended a bit. And I've built just some basic blocks. My theory here, the other sort of value of this system is I can be building while having power without like having to build separate power on this new ship. So I can have batteries charging up. I can, you know, operate and manipulate anything I place down as I need to. It's not super critical, but it should be handy. So on to this big ship. I'm just gonna make this line go all the way out for the moment. The first sort of key with any of these large battleships, you need your engineering section. That's sort of where all the, you know, delicate gooey bits of the ship are. So I like to build that first so that it's sort of, I know where it is, I can build up armor around it, and then, you know, it should be the most protected bit because it'll end up being the core of the ship. So this sort of central bit, I have 2 jump drives. We're 7 blocks wide at the moment. And on the back here I have 4 small reactors sort of piped up with some pipes that can pass through. Should all look nice and aesthetic. I'm sort of viewing this as the back direction of the ship. So from inside we'll probably have like the engineering observation area to look in on the jump drive, so that'll look cool. I could maybe move these. This is, I mean, none of this strictly matters, it's all aesthetic, but I feel like if I'm gonna be, you know, going in on building a big ship, I better make it look good. That may work. Still have the sort of core looking things there. Reactors are more visible. Okay, so moving back, I think this sort of rearward section will be where a lot of the sort of stuff goes. So my current plan is that this ship is not going to be hydrogen powered, that it'll be solely ion powered. It's not going to be super fast, but my intent is for this thing to be a big heavy slugger thing. So it's more move in, you know, pummel things and take hits as opposed to trying to actually dodge them. I'll try and make it reasonably maneuverable, but we'll have two O2H2 gens coming off of there. Then... I could hide stuff back here, but I kind of like seeing tanks. It just feels better. I also want to design this thing such that everything is accessible. Just, I feel like it's a good design practice to be able to get into all of your functional blocks and repair them. Especially given we know that the Factorum has penetrative armaments. So things like artillery shells that can go straight through a hull. If it gets in and damages like a block back here, I need to be able to get into it without grinding out a functional block. So then maybe I don't do those like that. Yeah, maybe instead we'll have our two O2H2 gens like that. Then I may stick the oxygen tank somewhere else. I think these back here, that's still oxygen. There we go. I think these back here will be two hydrogen tanks. So for engineering access, I'll be able to walk out through here, walk in, walk under these things. Then I may have a little catwalk area up here where I can access stuff. Because this area would also be good for some batteries. Now in terms of cargo pass-through, I can connect off of the back of these tanks to come to outer areas out here. So now I think one cargo container will be good. And we'll conveyor it off of here with some more sort of pass-throughs. That'll work. We'll have on the top and bottoms of these batteries gyroscopes. So this will sort of break up the interior, but that should be fine. We can still, I could even, right? Can I place them? Yes. I can place some gyroscopes on that part of... I can actually place them on all parts of the O2H2 gen. I can never remember because some of these blocks don't actually have connections. So there we go, 12 gyroscopes. I'll be able to walk along all these areas, do any maintenance I need to. I should still be able to reach the batteries. Yep. And I'll also leave, I mean, I may have piping back here, but I'll leave these accessible. Now, what else? So I've got power generation. Got that. Oh. I will want, I think, some light production. So my plan is not to make this thing, you know, I'm not going to make this a fully mobile base type of situation. So it's not going to have a full refinery, full assembler. I want this station to still be useful. And as I get Factorum stuff, I may upgrade the station. Hopefully stuff fits, because I didn't plan any of that out. But I do want some capability for in-flight repairs. And actually, this works out pretty good. Blocks that off a bit. But if I do an assembler, I won't be able to put modules on it. Though I probably don't need to worry about modules, because I won't be able to with the basic refinery. Yeah. So we'll slap the basic refinery there. Then I could do a basic assembler, but I think I want... Right, the industrial doesn't line up well with anything. I could make it kind of interesting, but I think it'll be better to just mirror the basic refinery. So a full assembler, so I can build and deconstruct everything. Then basic refinery, so then I can get, you know, basic ores if I needed to, say like mining an asteroid. A lot of this is being designed with what I learned from the baby Beluga, and functionally how, you know, just because I don't want it to be a full base doesn't mean I won't need a base worth of functionality, potentially. So that plus cargo and everything, that should give me everything I would need to survive. Maybe sort of carrying on cargo. Nope, because this is where things are going to get weird. There is a cargo pass through here, but not one on this side. So I can't run anything pipe-wise there. So maybe that is where the oxygen tank lives. And I can just... I don't know, maybe that space stays blank for the moment.
Energy low.
Actually, maybe that is where my stair egress is. This seems like a pretty solid little engine pod. Or sort of engineering pod, I guess, more. So, power, jump drives, O2H2 generators with hydrogen and an oxygen tank. I have an assembler and a basic refinery. I've got some batteries, some gyroscopes, cargo. It's all very walkable. Can walk in under all this stuff, access anything I need to, climb these stairs to an upper level, and eventually have catwalks up here. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I think with that sort of blocked off, I'm actually going to try and get it entirely built before I continue on to the other bits. So this thing will be designed in a semi-modular way. Partially, that just makes it easier to get into all the places I need to get into. Which means it's also probably a good time to grind down some of this junk. Clean up the old baby Beluga. I am going to be keeping the baby Beluga. I am going to try and repair it. It may lose this lower gun. I think it is going to become a solely scouting vessel. It may get some reactors instead of its hydrogen engines, just to make it work a bit better. A good tip, by the way, when you're grinding down big things like jump drives. So I've ground down components out of it. I have no components in my inventory. I just dumped them off in that connector. I'm going to weld it up. And of course, now it's too low, so it doesn't show. It's a good idea to weld in between grinding, because your inventory may fill up, and that red bar on the left of the right-hand side of the screen, the little, how much is left of the block bar goes down more than the parts you've pulled out. So, re-welding it after every time you grind out just kind of helps assure that you don't dump a bunch of parts floating free into space.
Energy low.
I am also... Oh, mining carriage. I'm also going to... Actually, I can probably place it with what I have. I'm going to slap a projector down onto this so that I can fix it. Because it needs some fixing. Alright, let's put on Baby Beluga, which I did have blueprinted. Now, you have to figure out which end is up. This is one of the most useful parts of Build Vision, in my opinion, is being able to control projectors. It's so hard to tell what's going on with a projector anyway. And if you're trying to do that from, in a menu where you can't see, okay, that's the top. Yeah, trying to do this from inside a menu is much more difficult. Whereas there, bam, now I know what bits are missing. And what bits are horribly damaged. Alright. Aside from the bits I don't want to put back, I think the Baby Beluga is back to functional. Just take off this battery barnacle. Had a little bit of juice left in it. Alright. Well, we'll get rid of this now. We'll call the Baby Bee. Maybe needs just a little bit. We're pretty much good. Alright, so production has stalled. I am actually still very slowly, I think. No, I think these need, a little bit of iron. So I'm out of iron, I'm out of nickel. Which are both pretty important things. I am also out of any refinable stuff to get me that, so no more stone. I had some stone, processed some scrap metal to get some iron. So, we're at the point now where I'm going to need to go do some mining to keep this going. But we've made some good progress, I would say. The lights are doing a decent job. Everything is lit even though the sun is down there. So yeah, that is the engineering section of our large ship has been engineered. It's not built fully, but it's close. I should be able to get this done sort of in between episodes, get some of the mining done. And then next week, I guess we hopefully get the rest of the ship designed and hopefully get it built. But this is, as you can tell just by this is a small chunk that I have now. And, it's pretty big. So this may take a while. But we're making progress, and hopefully it will be a much more capable vessel come combat time. So for now, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other videos I've done. Watch some of my other series. Watch through this series again if you want. I don't know. Until next week, bye-bye.